What is going on, guys? Now Saturday we have two Mexican warriors going at it, two pound for pound kings, just like Inoue, Nakatani, Benavidez and Zurdo. Zurdo, another one, from middleweight up to cruiserweight. Similar Benavidez, super middleweight up to cruiserweight, probably heavyweight in the future. Now, when you break down Benavidez recently against Yard, you'll see he had great moments, he picked his punches well. We know what Benavidez does. And one thing I say that, although he throws in flurries, he throws in bunches and punches, his timing is impeccable. The way he times that right hand and that left hook to just land perfectly when you want it to. That's one thing I say which people don't see with Benavidez, but he does it perfectly because people just see the non-stop like this, the left hooks, 10 of them. That sequence reminded me of De La Hoya in the first round against Mayweather towards the end, which nabbed in the round. If you know your boxing, you know. But I think with Benavidez, one thing that I'd say is at cruiserweight, we don't know if he's going to have that relentless speed that he has down at super middleweight and at light heavyweight. So this is a big question mark. But I mean, technically, we know what he's like. And when you see against Yard here, even in moments like that when he switches to southpaw, he can switch stance on the occasion. But one thing I say about him is when he does that, a lot of the time he is square on. So he is capable of just getting a right hand just down the pipe and then the other person scoring a 10-8, which could be a massive beneficial factor when it comes to the scorecards, even though he's not hurt, which is what Ronald Gavril did with him in the first fight. But you'll see here against Yard, done what you need to do, and then that left hook, boom, right to the body to disguise it, left hook up, there we go. And I think something like that is what Zurdo Ramirez needs to be careful of. But you see against Morel, although he won this fight, he had moments where he got hit with silly shots, and you see there with him standing still, standing in the pocket, square on. He's too comfortable where if a fighter like with Plant, he could easily take his punches, but against someone like Zurdo, you can't do that. And also against Morel, where he just stood there and just got caught with punches because he's happy to have 4 land on him if he can land 5 himself. He's one of them fighters where defensively he's not the most greatest. So all in all, he's a solid fight. But you see here how Morel playing with him, playing possum, and then throws that feint, and then Benavidez bites, and then boom, right hook, and then that's a 10-9. Although it's slightly landed on his arm and his temple, it still got him to 10-8, and he fell for the bait. So at the same time, his boxing IQ is great, but he does have flaws defensively when it comes to feints and simple basic trickery, as I like to call it, from other fighters. But you see with Zurdo Ramirez, the last fight, I'll be completely honest, it was a stinker. He didn't really show good signs at all, where he was landing good shots, he was hurting him, but he wasn't going for it. Where you see there, his timing is great as well, where he's slipping shots and landing shots of his own, although he got caught with a few there. But you'll see, he was too defensively minded this fight where he wouldn't commit. Of course, Dorticos, we know how hard he hits. Maybe it's because of that, he was cautious of it and he felt a few of the right hands, so he backed off most of the fight. But he was landing good shots, but he wasn't following up. He was in first gear the whole 12 rounds, where it got the job done. But you can do that against that level of fighters, where fighters are old, out their prime, and you can time from the back foot like that with 2 lefts over there. But you got to up the momentum. You got to go from second to third to fourth gear, get them out. You can't stand around, especially in the cruiserweight division, because one punch and it's lights out. So that's one thing I say about with Zurdo. He does get complacent from time to time, where it does catch up onto him, where that happened against Bivol, where he landed a few good shots early on in the fight against Bivol, where he did have a lot of success early on in the fight, but he just relied on that success, stayed in the first gear the whole fight, and had pretty much a plan A, no plan B or C. In the second half of the fight, Bivol took over. So I do wonder with that about Zurdo, as hard as he hits and as good as he technically, does he have the boxing IQ to up the gears or come up with a plan B, C or D? But you see against Billam Smith, he fought amazing this fight. I know he did lose a few rounds, got hurt a few times, but he boxed amazing because Billam Smith's a come forward pressure fighter and he was stamping his authority. Instead, Zurdo, he dictated the pace, he dictated the tempo the whole fight, where Billam Smith done what Zurdo wanted him to do, and he was just pretty much a punching bag for him for 12 rounds. So you see there, he's just someone that he can do things in spells, but he can't do it for 12, which does worry me, especially against someone like Benavidez. and this is at his weight, so he needs to stamp his authority. He needs to show him the ropes at his weight. But you'll see here as well against Ben Smith, landing good shots to the body, and Willard Smith landing down, hooks to there, pivot round into an orthodox, then back to a southpaw. He knows how to reset, he knows how to build a momentum. But this is one thing that he does love to do, like a pure Mexican, which we love to see. Just stand in the middle and just swing for the hills, which for us, great. For their brains, definitely not. But Benavidez, his keys to victory is quite simple as this. You'll ease into the fight, because I know he's a slow starter, but for this fight he does have to ease into it because he's at cruiserweight. He don't know if he's going to have the speed and the gas tank to last to 12, so just ease into it. Use that lead left to prevent the pivots, because if you land that left hook while he tries to pivot around, it's going to eliminate the pivots, and when you do that, utilize that lead left hook to step on the outside, so you're more in range than him, because from southpaw stance he's unable to reach with that rear left, so it gives you more of a favour. Where with Zurdo Ramirez, your keys to victory is fight fire with fire. If he throws 10, you throw 20, simple as that. No need to be saying even any more than that. Win the early rounds, as I said, because Benavidez is a slow starter, so if you win the early rounds it does go to the scorecards. That could obviously be a big factor, and that right hook and move, because again, Morrell done it and he scored a 10-8. Plant done it from time to time, even from an orthodox stance. Andrade did it and he won probably the first 3-4 rounds of that fight until he obviously got caught. So Benavidez does struggle with southpaws, but when you break him down stylistically, this is a proper 50-50, because Benavidez, we know how great he is, but the weight could be a big factor. And Zurdo is a natural cruiserweight. I don't know how he fought middleweight and super middleweight, but he is a natural cruiserweight, which is why I do believe he will have moments. He will win a few of the exchanges where it might give him the round and he builds a momentum. I do believe Benavidez also will make it competitive. He'll land good shots. I believe he'll, in spells as well, box from the back foot and play possum and then nick the rounds and make Zurdo smother his work. I do believe this will be a very close fight, but if you had to ask me who I believe will win, I do believe that the man will win is El Bandera Roja, David Benavidez. I do believe he'll get the victory. It'll be a close fight, but I do think he'll win. I don't think he'll stop him though, because I don't know if that power and speed will lift up to cruiserweight, where you see like with Teofimo for example, 135 knockout machine, moves up to 140, ain't got power in his armour. I do believe we'll have to see a similar thing with that, and I do believe Benavidez will get a win in a close competitive fight, but I do believe we'll go to the scorecards. It wouldn't surprise me if I do see a knockdown from the Paradigm, but I think Benavidez will be more reserved, and it'll be a similar fight to when he fought Alexander Goslik in his first fight at light heavyweight, where he eased into it and took his time. I do believe it'll be similar to that, but much more closer and competitive. But that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and as always and most importantly, this ain't financial advice, it's going to be what we betting and backing based off my research.